Okay, so I want to introduce you now to a concept called string slicing. And string slicing has to do with the fact that, if you remember, a string is the same as, is actually a list. It's actually a collection. It's just a collection of characters. So if I have some text like this, I can actually go through that text one letter at a time. What do I mean by that? Let's take a look. str text equals Bakersfield College. I can go through this using a for loop one letter at a time. For str letter in str text print str letter. So all I'm doing here is I'm creating a string, a list of characters. And then I'm saying for each letter is itself a string that is a length of one character, long string. For each letter in that string, print that letter. So when I print that, or when I run that, it goes one character at a time and prints out the letter. Okay, that's kind of useful. How could I use that? Here's a little program that cleans out all non-alpha or space. Let's see, what did I do here? Alpha or, why is it yelling at me here? Indent expected. Oh, there it is. That was it right there. There we go. I was a little concerned, but there was a little tiny apostrophe right there messing me up. Okay, so this string, so obviously you can see that it says Bakersfield College in there, but it's got garbage text in it. Why is this useful? Because you will have data in your programming career. If you become a programmer and you do this on any kind of regular basis, you will have to deal with data that has garbage in it. Right? Think about it. Any data you collect from the real world is messy as crap. If I gave you all a survey that had 10 questions on it, and those survey questions required you to enter things like first name, last name, phone number, etc. And then I wanted to do something useful with that data. Think about this. You would type your first name, you type your last name. Some of you would use capitals, some of you wouldn't. Some of you would insert extra spaces. We get to the phone number. How many different legal ways of formatting a phone number can you think of? Right? We've got with the parentheses, without parentheses. You could use dots in between the groups of numbers. You could just enter one string of numbers, right? So my data is all over the place. So I got to figure out how to make that data the same, and then I can do some useful things with it, like analyze it or figure out, like let's just say I wanted to figure out what percentage of my students had the prefix 319 after the area code. Your phone number has 319 in it, in that order. I have to be able to get to those numbers, right? But if I've got all this weird punctuation in the phone numbers, it's kind of stupid and messy. So real data looks like this a lot of the time. So you got to learn how to deal with it. But let's say I want to get down to, what does this actually say if I get rid of the punctuation and I get rid of everything that's not a letter or a space? So what I can do, one easy way to do that, is I can go through each letter in that text, and basically, if that letter is alphabetic, I don't know why we were uppercase there, but Let's fix that. Or if that letter is equal to a space, then we're going to print it. So if I run that, okay, you can see, oh, that looks a little bit better. But what if I want to put that text in a new variable, the cleaned up thing? I can create a blank string here like this. And every time I find something that I want to keep in that string, I can add it to the new string. So I can say str new plus equals str letter. So now I'm adding whatever that letter is. If I want to keep it, I just add it to the new string. And then when I'm all done, I could print that out. And so when I run that, now I have a nice clean string. I've gotten rid of all the garbage. So we can use string processing like this to very quickly and easily get rid of garbage. But in string slicing, we can take it a little bit further. Since a string is an iterable, a collection, a list, whatever you want to call it, we can use this, which is called list notation. It should be somewhat familiar to you because when we did lists a while back, right, we used this to refer to a specific index. So let's go back to this. str text equals I love Bakersfield College food. It's a bit of a stretch, but just bear with me. It doesn't have to be true. It just has to be a string. So if I want to take that string and I want to break it into words, strtext.split, right? I'm going to split it up using the default character, which is the space. Now I can print out those words. When I run that, there we go, I love Bakersfield College food. There's my words. So I can say, oh, I'm going to print li words. Let's say I want to print the third word in that sentence. The third word would be index 2. So when I print that, I just get Bakersfield, 0, 1, 2, right? Index 2. That's how I would do it with the list. Now I can also I have str text, which is not technically a list. It's a string, but a string is a list. So I can use list notation to print out the 7th character of this, which is capital B, right? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is actually the 8th character of this, right? Because this one is 0. So now I can do that. I can also, as this shows, I can use a colon in between this to say I want to print out between the third, or index 3 and index 10. Right? Index 3 and index 10. So if I go index 7 and index 12, it gives me 5 characters. So 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Remember when we talked about how range always stops one short of the higher number? That's what we're doing here. Okay? It's a range. So I'm defining a range. Okay, so now I can use that. I can also use a negative number. Negative number says that many characters from the end. So let's say I want to chop off this end punctuation, and I want to keep the rest of this, if I want the whole string except for the very last character, I use 0 and -1, and now it gives me the string without the punctuation. So if you have a sentence that has punctuation, you want to get rid of the punctuation at the end, just chop off that last character. Another way to do it, notice there's 2 colons here. 2 colons is basically the same thing as saying I want every second letter. So this says start at 0, end 1 from the end, and give me every second letter. So if I run that, secret code, right? Why would you do that? Who knows? There are reasons for this. Otherwise, it wouldn't exist. But this should be sort of reminding you of the range function, because we're doing starting point, ending point, and multiples. Now here's a secret trick that you will use. If I go colon, colon, -1, so use the whole string, and the third argument is the multiple. I say -1, that reverses the whole string. So if you want to take a whole string, reverse it, use that. Question? Yeah, you don't have to ask. All right, so just remember that. Colon, colon, -1 will instantly reverse any string. Super easy little trick that you can do. And it doesn't change the original string, right? It's just returning that. Because if I print str text again after that, you can see the original is still in the same order, which is kind of nice, kind of handy. It doesn't destroy it. So that's string slicing, is the idea of using these indexes and multiples to get what you want from a string. So if you use that in conjunction with things like find, which returns an index of a specific word, then you can extract words, you can do all kinds of things with it. So that leads us to